We're recording this session and it'll be available, usually it's about 24 hours later. We'll post this on our COVID-19 resources page on our website at momainstreet.org. There's also a chat function if you want to, and we highly encourage it, asking questions. You can do that in the chat function, and we'll get to those questions as we go through the presentation, but also we will have a question and answer period at the end. And I'm going to turn over to Gayla to do some preliminary stuff before we get started with our speakers.
All right, thank you, Keith. Well, good morning, everybody, and good morning, Pam and Daphne. Thank you all so much for coming back and doing this for us. As I was just communicating with them earlier, you know, we should get our clapper out and say Act 2. So those that were with us last week, joining us at the, right, exactly, Daphne, joining us at the very beginning, we had somebody come into our presentation that wasn't welcome, so we had to discontinue it. And so we are back, and Keith has set up more of a private site for us. It's not public, so hopefully we don't run into any issues this morning. So again, thank you to everyone out there joining us, and hopefully many of you all watch this that's not on this morning as we put it over into our resources. So before we get started, I just want to talk a little bit about next week. Next week is going to be Mornings on Main with social media and online marketing. It's going to be primarily structured about making an online presence and then pushing them into your or having a social media presence and pushing them into your online marketing area to move, of course, goods and services. And so we hope that everybody can join us next week. And then also want to mention that we have a whole 4 ways to connect, and Keith put it up on the screen. But primarily for the full audience out there, I want to talk about our online resources. You can go to our webpage, and the most up-to-date, we actually have several of our team members that are searching every day for the latest information to put it there, because as you guys know, there's hordes of information out there. And so we even update what's old, put in new, we get rid of the old. And then things that the deadlines have passed, we take that out or we change the deadlines that are there. Also, we have a resource, a grant resource directory out there as well. So those that are part of Main Street in the way of being a director or part of the coordinating programs for the state, we have that resource as well. There's several grants out there now that you can apply for that is associated with, unfortunately, COVID-19. So that is there. And then we also want everybody to recognize too that we have our downtown chat, which is a separate Facebook platform than our just MMSC platform. So it's all about, you know, just sharing what's going on. And yesterday we had a meeting, we call them We Care calls with all of our directors around the state. And we just hear amazing work that's going on around Missouri, even through this COVID-19. And it's just phenomenal to hear these great stories. And so that is a lot of the information that's shared on Downtown Chat. So it's a good resource to go to. It makes you smile and it makes you know that there's so much kindness in Missouri. And you can't find it any greater, I don't think, than in the heart of our communities around the state. And that heart is our downtown. So we just thank you. And we're going to turn it over to our speakers this morning. Again, Pam Wheeler is from Blue Springs. She has Geneva's Home and Handmade. And then we have Daphne Bowman, which is from Willow Springs Mercantile. And Daphne's from Excelsior Springs, and Pam, again, from Blue Springs. But both of them are Main Street champions. And I think that's what's so important about this webinar is they live it, they breathe it, they've been part of the organization. And I think it just brings more value to their presentation. And we just hope you guys enjoy. And again, thank you to both of you all.
You're welcome.
Great. Pam, we're going to start with you. If you would let everybody know your business and where you're located and kind of how you got started.
Okay. So thank you for having me. So I own Genevieve's Home and Handmade. It's located in downtown Blue Springs. So I opened in 2012. So I've been open almost 8 years in August. I started out actually on the main highway through Blue Springs, 7 Highway, and about a year and a half in, decided to move downtown, and I'm so glad I did. So it's been great, and my business increased when I moved downtown, which is awesome. So we purchased a house downtown, and we carry a mix of, we have a mix of vintage. We go to estate sales and flea markets, vintage finds. We have women's apparel, gift, baby, and then one of our big selling points is we have local handmade items from about 25 different local artists. We also do a few classes, so yeah, so it's fun, and I'm glad that I'm doing it.
Great. So tell me some of the stuff that you've been doing while we're in this COVID crisis. How have you changed your business model?
Right. Well, it's mostly made me step out of my comfort zone, which is a good thing. So I started doing Facebook Lives, which I should have done a long time ago, but we've been doing those about once a week. Mostly I've featured women's apparel, so I will have about 5 or 6 outfits and number them and walk through them, try them on, you know, have, and then people can comment in the thread below and see what they want to purchase. So I've been doing those. I've been offering free, no contact local porch drop off delivery. So, and expanded that to like 4 different communities around us, and then have a $5 flat shipping rate. We also on Facebook put together 13 different packages for Easter packages, and then promoted those through my email and on Facebook. And again, they could send that to their friends and family for Easter with the no contact free porch drop off delivery. So, and one of our artists, it's been a really cool thing. She sold over 90 handmade bracelets that were made just for this occasion. One says there's joy ahead, and one is we will rise, and they're stamped bracelets. And she sent out over 90 to all across the country, actually. So that's been really cool.
So when we talked, you are one of those merchants that doesn't have an online store, but are developing an online store. Is that correct?
Yes, so that's been my big focus the last probably 2 weeks now. Lots of time's gone into that. I think I'll be ready to launch it maybe the end of this week even. So I've been gathering. That's something I know I should have done, but I kind of went back and forth trying to decide if I wanted to do that, because it's a whole other animal. But I'm glad I am now. So, and that I have the capability to do it. It's just really time consuming, but it's been awesome. And so I think I'll have that ready.
Well, and as we talked, your business, you have a lot of local artists, and so it's not like you have a lot of inventory that to have an online store that if somebody bought 5 of one item, you may only have 1 of that item because it's a unique handmade item. And so that's kind of been the deterrent for you to have an online store. So how are you determining what goes on your online store?
Yeah, so I've picked things that are easy to ship, so not too expensive to ship. And then when I did get with each of the artists and made sure what I put on the website, they can recreate easily and have the materials on hand. And also just our top sellers. So basically those things combined, things that aren't too expensive to ship and that are easy to get to, that I'll have inventory of. And I did order a little extra inventory of some of the top sellers just to have as back stock. And so I've done all that since this has happened. So
okay, so let's go back to the comment you made about the Facebook Live. You are featuring products that you have in your store on that. So really focusing on 1 or 2 products during that live broadcast.
Yeah, well, usually it's been on the outfits. I'll do 5 or 6, but they'll have an outfit, so there'll be quite a few, and even jewelry and everything with it. So I've done that, and then mostly it's been clothing right now. And I was going to walk through the store for Easter, but I didn't do that. I decided to do the packages instead. But yeah, so they only last, like, I try not to make them too long, like maybe 15 minutes at the most.
Okay. So like a mini fashion show?
Yeah, a little bit.
And so what is the reason?
Well, I don't have other people in the store though, so there's not been anyone in there with me. I have them on the mannequins. All the outfits are on the mannequins. So.
Okay. And so what has been the response as you have done those Facebook Lives? I mean, are you getting immediate sales? How are things going when you do those? What's the either, I guess, the comments and response, the engagement, but then are you also then selling product?
Yes, we are. So it's been great. So both comments and we've sold products. So the week, probably a whole week, the week of the Facebook Live, we still get sales from it. So
Mhm.
it's been good. I mean, it's really saved us for sure. So
Sure. Okay.
yeah.
So let's talk about that for a minute. Of course, you're featuring just a small number of products, promoting things on Facebook. So your sales compared to normal, is it 25%? Is it 50%? Kind of share with folks how this has impacted you and what this online component has helped you do.
Right. I think it has been right about 25%, unfortunately. So, I mean, I'm
Right.
thankful for that though, even for the 25%.
Right.
But I think hopefully the online will increase that a little bit, or at least keep the 25 steady for until we can reopen.
Mhm.
So yeah, but it's hurt us for sure.
And I
It's
guess
been,
we should share with everybody too that you are closed. You are in the Kansas City metro area, and so you're a non-essential business under a stay-at-home order. So your business is physically closed, correct?
yeah, till
Yep.
the 15th at the earliest of May. So yeah.
Okay. And then you also mentioned to me that while you're doing porch delivery, you also have a front porch on your business. And so
Yes.
you are setting things out if people want to come pick them up. And instead of curbside pickup, you have porch pickup. Is that right?
Yeah, we have a basket and it has a little sign on it that says customer pickup. And that's a lot of people have wanted to do that. So
Yeah.
we just set it out there. Thankfully, nothing's been stolen, but yeah, it's been great. People
Good.
use that. Yeah.
Cool. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you, Pam, and we'll come back with some questions. And you may think of something as we go through with Daphne. So Daphne, Willow Spring Mercantile in Excelsior Springs, tell us about your business, how long you've been in business, and just familiarize folks with what you do.
Okay, so we opened in 2005 as a antique store, and that lasted about 10 seconds. Our building is small, and we didn't know a lot about antiques. We just followed what people told us that we should put in downtown, and realized very quickly we needed to put something that we were passionate about. So also right after we opened our business, the housing market fell. So we've been adapting ever since. After our first year, we added small dollar consumables, handcrafted soaps, kind of the same thing, Missouri made products, coffees, teas, things that people could buy quickly, consume, and then come back and enjoy again. And that did pretty well. After that, our third year, we added Missouri wines, and that's when we really began to take off. So we created kind of a largest selection of Missouri wines in the state concept and start bringing those in. Once we brought the wine, people wanted food because we were doing wine tastings. We both had food background, but didn't want to get back into it. Somehow, little by little, we slowly allowed it to get into our business, which became our main business because we are actually passionate about food. So now we are we're in our 15th year. We are a wine shop on the main level, and we have Missouri handcrafted items. We have Missouri craft beers, craft spirits. And then down, when you walk down into the stairs, we have two different levels below our building. We're in a 100-year-old building. And so we have a little wine cellar where you can eat. That's where I am. You can kind of see the stone wall, the brick wall. And then we have a little back room that's got lots of windows. It's kind of like a little tea room. And so the restaurant is downstairs. Fortunate for us, we've been able to stay open because alcohol is essential. So we're allowed to keep the retail portion open. I know, I'm blessed. And then we're able to keep the restaurant open as well. So it's been a little creative March since it didn't happen for us until the 18th. Our sales only dropped about 17%, but they're kind of like yours, Pam. We're probably running about 25% of our business right now, and trying to come up with creative ideas that will allow more things out the door than just the food.
So tell us some of those creative ideas. I have full disclosure, I've known Daphne since 2006, and so I've got to see the business evolve. In fact, it was Daphne and her husband who precipitated Excelsior Springs starting their Main Street program. So we're very grateful to you guys for helping push that forward. So I've seen your evolution, and you're evolving again. And through this crisis, I've seen some of the stuff that you've been doing with, are you still doing the meal prep or family options for people to pick up stuff and take it home?
We kind of thought about a few things. We thought, well, we need some short-term revenue just to get us through, because in the beginning we didn't know how long this was going to last. And then there were lots of ideas that we had a long time ago that once our business got running, we could never implement. So we're starting to be able now to step back and think about short-term revenue, long-term revenue. How do we want to change our business? Those kind of things. And so for short-term, we've added take and bake. So what we do is on Friday and Saturday night, because we're only a lunch restaurant, but people want food in the evening, we've added a take and bake option. So we have just a nice limited menu that's easy to bake up. We launched that Friday morning at 11 a.m. and it's open till 3. And then you put in the time you want to pick it up. So it's a curbside take and bake basically. And it has pizzas, hot sandwiches, that kind of thing. That's been going really well. We do that on Friday and Saturday nights. And then we have done, when this all started, we started kind of doing videos. I have the best staff ever. They've been with me forever. So my cooks were silly. They were singing, we were just trying to keep the spirit up. So I got lots of videos of them, some live and some taped, where they were dancing or preparing hummus or whatever it is that they do. And from there, that actually precipitated people asking if they could buy bulk hummus. Some of our products that we serve single serve, they asked if we could do that in bulk. So then from those videos, we started selling some of our items in 8-ounce portions, that kind of thing. And so that's been fun. We've had a few people want full cakes. So that's been nice. So we've done a little bit of bulk, and then we've done the take and bake. And so that's kind of the e-commerce. We did not have an e-commerce site. So we just got that up this last week, where you can order online and then have your lunch for pickup in 20 minutes. So that's been going really good. We used a local company that offered all small businesses that didn't have e-commerce in the metropolitan area a free e-commerce site for at least 3 months to get us through. So that's been a huge blessing, because to set something up like this is probably several $1,000s. So you can kind of see it's simple. I see it on the screen. It's simple, easy to navigate. They can pay curbside, they can pay online, whatever's easiest for them. And then at checkout, there's a little special note section. So if they want to add a bottle of wine or a 6-pack, obviously most of our customers are our local Excelsiorites. And then we do have a few. I've had a few people drive from Independence, Raytown, that used to visit us from time to time. And so they'll order lunch and come up and send us a little message and say, I want my favorite wine. You know what it is. It's on my card. And we keep a list of all of our customers and what they drink. And we have 3 boxes with about 3,000 people's names in it. So we pull that and pull their wine, have it cold, ready to go.
Yeah. So that kind of reminds me of a question to ask Pam. So Pam, you're working on getting your store online. Are you utilizing a company to do that, or are you doing it yourself?
I'm doing it myself. So I have a POS system, ShopKeep is what I use. And with that, you get a free e-commerce website. So it's just a matter of, and then it all syncs with the store.
Okay.
So I've been doing it myself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So you're building it yourself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so Daphne, this was a local company that offered the service. So what kind of interaction did you have with them? You just had to provide the product and the description. How did that work?
Right. Well, I'm kind of old-fashioned. I'd wanted an e-commerce site for other things for years, but knew I wouldn't be able to do it by myself because I'm not as tech savvy as I'd like to be and don't seem to have time to learn. But Courtney has been wonderful. I write like just notes and notes and notes on paper, take pictures of it and send it over. I'm starting to get better about sending her emails with my notes, so I'm not writing it on paper and then sending it. But I'm taking pictures. We're getting ready to launch another page that's going to help with the retail incentive, and we're doing basically it's a quarantine link, and we're going to do quarantine boxes that have spirits. We have a man cave pack that has whiskey and beer. We have an adult grab bag that has 4 bottles of wine and a surprise. And so the surprises will be things like chocolate, that kind of stuff. And we're going to do.
So like Pam, making it easy for shoppers in grouping things together, like your Easter gift items, Pam, you felt that was a good way to showcase what you offered and could help get rid of some of your inventory through that effort too. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. That's right.
And so Daphne kind of doing the same thing, make it easy for folks. Here's a pack of some sort, couple clicks and it can be theirs.
Right. And then we are delivering it within 30 miles. If they're over 30 miles, they can come pick it up.
Okay.
So
Daphne, tell folks, what is the breakdown of your sales pre-COVID-19, food versus retail? What's your breakdown?
It's pretty much 50-50. Our food runs at least 50% of our business.
Okay.
And then our retail runs, and retail, the majority of our retail is alcohol sales. So of the 50% that's retail, about 90% of that is alcohol and 10% is what we call fluff and stuff. So soaps, jewelry, jars of jam, honey, that kind of thing. And so the wine sales have actually done pretty good. The alcohol sales, they're probably down about 70%. Food's probably down about 75 or 80%. And then fluff and stuff is maybe 1% versus 10%. So I haven't done a run on April yet, but when you're small like this, you watch your numbers every day, and they've been at least 2/3 to 3/4 down every single day. So that's why we're trying to create these packages to maybe move some of that alcohol and some of those gifts, the chocolates that are have expiration dates on them, things like that we can try and move out the door and keep to somebody, put on their porch and let them enjoy it.
So I'm going to ask this question to both of you. Pam, you said that you did do some additional ordering of products that are really popular. Are you having any supplier issues or shipping, trying to get stuff?
Yes, we are. Well, luckily the ones on the website we were able to get, but the clothing especially is, a lot of things are on back order there. So I had just done an order right at the beginning when this happened, and I got that, but I haven't been able to get other clothing right now. So.
Okay. What about you, Daphne?
Initially, we were having some food issues. We couldn't get chicken. We couldn't get lettuce. So we were trying to make some alterations. Or I know it sounds crazy, but I just go to Aldi and buy what I needed till my supplier could get it in. Right. So we were having to have some creative ways to get some of our food products in, but it hasn't been too bad. It's starting to level out now.
Okay. I just want to, for the attendees, participants, if you have questions, go ahead and put those in the chat box. I'm going to ask a couple more questions, but go ahead and start putting those in there as we get to the question and answer session. So Pam, Daphne, what are you guys hearing from your local health departments? Are they starting to roll out or get you thinking about when it is time to open? What kind of steps will you be taking? Is that part of the conversation yet?
Want me to go?
Sure.
Well, as far as Blue Springs, it's May 15th is when they say. I don't know if it'll be extended at that point, so we just don't know. I'm not really counting on opening till, I don't know, it might be even June, probably. And then when we do, I don't know if people want to come into a store or not, so I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Pam, are you in Jackson County?
Yeah, we're in Jackson County.
Okay. Yesterday on our director's call, Jackson County has been very proactive, and they've got a checklist that businesses need to go through, and as they think about reopening, it talks about how to sanitize work areas and customer areas, and that you're committing to limiting the number of people within your business, and you have steps in place to keep your employees and customers at a safe distance. And so there are some counties that are starting to put those things out there. So Daphne, are you seeing anything?
Well, I had started just kind of focusing on doing things in my business, and I quit watching media a little bit just because I needed to get focused on running my business and being creative. And I found that the more I paid attention to the media, the less focused on my business I was. So in the last week, we've really started to focus on getting sales and moving things. But I did talk with one of our city administrators yesterday, and she shared with me initially that Jackson County thought that the curve in Missouri, I believe, the high point was going to be the 27th of April, but now they believe it was the 17th, which means that from that point forward, we count 14 days for reopening. So there might be a potential that instead of extending the order, we might keep the current date or even come back a little bit. And so some of the things that they shared with me is like we'd have to limit people in our business, which is fine. Salt and pepper shakers, sugar shakers, all of those things would be removed from the table. And we would have to, we don't use ketchup, but like a restaurant that would have ketchup, you'd have to put it in a disposable package or like a little ramekin and take it out to the customer instead of them touching ketchup bottles, mustard bottles, things like that. So for us, it would probably just mean taking everything off our tables. We actually do linens. And so when this all started, we have all kinds of vintage tablecloths. So we were changing them between every customer instead of when they were just dirty. And so what we may do is just get rid of the linens for a while and sanitize tables, get rid of salt, pepper shakers, that kind of thing. So that's kind of where we are. We'd like to continue the curbside as long as possible. It's actually been nice having that. And then kind of see, we do 4-course wine dinners where we bring 50 people in and bring a winery in. We know those are going to be probably fall or might even be winter before we can bring those back though.
Okay. I do have a couple comments that may continue our conversation. So Lindsay in Excelsior Springs is saying that Clay County is possibly talking about a phase 1 reopening. That would then mean for establishments open to the public that you could only have 25% of your occupancy load within the business. So let's say you're fire rated for 100 people, you could only have 25 in your business at that time. So I think we're going to start to see more of these things coming out as we and the governments have been talking about phases of doing that. And so there may be the phase 1, here are the restrictions. And so there'll be a lot of that to come, I'm sure. And then Jackson County, so Daryl Lynn from Alabama asked, is that Jackson County checklist from the health department available? It is available on our COVID-19 resource page. So anybody that's interested in looking at that, we've put that resource on our COVID-19 page, momainstreet.org, and then just click on COVID-19 resources and it's there. And I looked at it yesterday. It really, a lot of good stuff in there that, Daphne, I never thought about salt and pepper shakers, those sorts of things that we're so used to. And so, we need to look at our experts in those fields to help us navigate those things. So any other questions from folks? Keep them coming. What parts of your new normal will you plan to keep post-pandemic? Very good question. Thanks, Lindsay. So Pam, based upon what you've talked about so far, what of those things are you going to take forward as we get back to the new normal?
Probably all of them, honestly. So definitely the Facebook Lives, the website. I kind of like the delivery unless it gets crazy. It's Baxter, the shop dog, and I load up and we take everything and deliver it. It's really kind of fun. So anyway, we might even continue that. So, but it's been good.
Yeah, good. Daphne, what about you?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. This whole crisis has pushed us into gear to do some things that we had said we were going to do for years, which was the e-commerce site. all of that. So we'll keep the e-commerce. I don't know if people will want to continue to do curbside. We'll be glad to do that I think for a while. People are still going to be a little nervous. So we're going to keep that option open.
Well, you've always had a very strong lunch takeout business anyway.
Right. So we'll keep that. We're talking about some of the different things that we're talking about for long-term revenue is instead of just a COVID-19 box, you'll actually sign up for a club where you get a box a month. And you'll pay a set fee, and we'll deliver it within 30 miles. And so that'll generate consistent income for, they may sign up for 12 months, however long they decide they want to keep going, and we'll just keep delivering boxes to their door with
Sure.
Whatever it is that the package of the month is.
Right.
And so that'll help offset until we can get our wine dinners back. Our wine dinners are a huge push every month. It's a one-night event that gives us about 3 or 4% additional revenue, and so we've lost that. So just even figuring out a way to get 3 or 4% of that back in a short period of time and not have to run the whole month to get that
on the
back.
list for the first one of those.
I know. I have several people that have said, I can't wait to see that. So I'm working with my website people right now to roll out the COVID boxes. And then once we kind of get comfortable with those, then we'll probably do the box of the month club where you get a surprise every single month.
Cool. All right. Another question, Pam. This came from a fellow Blue Springs person, from Pam Buck. Did either one of you apply for any of the SBA programs?
We did. I applied for the EIDL, but I have an application number, but I haven't heard anything yet. So.
Okay. And Daphne?
Same thing. I applied for that, and I applied for the PPP, and we were very blessed to get the PPP loan, which is the payroll loan.
Yeah.
And so that came in last week, and so I brought all of my staff back that can come back, and we are revamping. We're cleaning, we're painting, we're staining floors. I have about 4 to 5 people every day now in the shop, and we're refinishing walls and putting in new doors. And so we're having fun with all our new color schemes. And I've tried to put a picture here or there, letting our customers see our staff painting the walls instead of cooking their lunch. And so we're going to do, once this is at a point where we can do something fun, we're going to do a grand reopening with our new color schemes and all the rearranged shop floor.
Okay. We have heard that from other downtowns, that property owners are taking these opportunities to make the changes to their shop that normally would require them to close down. And so it's the perfect time, because you can be closed for multiple days at a time where you normally wouldn't want to do that, to do some of those upgrades and improvements. So kudos to that. So Pam, in your business, you have done art classes in the past. Are you doing any of that virtually? Do you have any thoughts about how to continue that during this time period?
Yeah, we have thought about doing those virtually and doing like even YouTube videos, things like that. So that's in the works too. So we've been thinking about that. Okay. We also refinished our floors in Genevieve. So that was like the first energy burst the first week we did that. But anyway.
Great. All right. Any other questions? Had quite a few come through, but we'll give folks another opportunity to ask some questions. Gayla has a question. Gayla, you can go ahead and turn your webcam back on if you want to ask that.
Well, I can ask a question without my webcam on, but I'll go ahead and do it if I can figure it back out. Okay.
I can do it while you talk.
Okay. So, as you guys know, the Main Street programs have just been working tirelessly trying to support you all in the best way that they can in just unknown times. Can you guys share a little bit about what you feel your Main Street program has done to help support small businesses? And then what is it that they've done that probably affected you all the most and most helpful?
Go ahead, Pam.
Okay. Well, since I'm not a restaurant, they've done a lot of posts for the restaurants in downtown, and it's helped a ton. I mean, I think that's really been a good thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And the whole thing is just continue to shop local.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Great. Wonderful.
Well, and our director has been amazing. She's on at 7 a.m. Live chatting, talking about updates. She's on at 11 p.m. I mean, we've got a Monday coffee chat at 9 a.m. every morning that is live, where we can all get on and just kind of visit about what we're doing. Without Main Street, I probably wouldn't have understood the loan processes and all of that. So we've been really blessed to have an amazing director through all of this.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, you know, amazing directors comes with an amazing board. So I know that you have been part of that. So we really appreciate you, because it's not, you know, our business is only as good as all the other businesses around us. As we continue to make ours better, the others, you know, will go along with us, especially after we get our doors reopened. We want everybody to be, the more successful they are, the more successful our own business will be. So that's great. Thank you all for sharing.
Yep. Any other questions before we end this? All right. Pam, Daphne, thank you both very much. You're great leaders in your own communities, and we appreciate you sharing your expertise and knowledge today with our attendees. And it'll go far and wide when we post this online, so you'll be immortalized and people can watch it forever. So thank you all. Continue doing what you're doing. Yep.
Yeah.
And we want to like Gayla said at the beginning, we do have our webinar next week is a little bit more on what these two ladies talked about, but more focused on just the online component, how businesses are adjusting to doing more of their marketing online, how they're promoting through social media, the different things that they're doing. We're still working the details out on our speakers, but one of them is a small business owner in Maryville, Missouri, and the other one is a farm in Chillicothe. So we'll have those that we'll be bringing to you next week. So thank you all very much. Pam, Daphne, thank you again.
Everybody continue to shop local. Take out and shop local. Thank
Have
you
a great
all.
day. Bye-bye.
Okay.